Welcome to Swansons Thoughts, Episode 2. We're here in beautiful Youngsville, North Carolina at the Yacht Club Beverage House. I'm Swanson.
And I'm Thoughts.
And today we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl, Waste Management Open,
Major League Baseball and spring training. A little bit of college basketball with the tournament right around the corner here in March. We got Duke Carolina week, big rivalry here in North Carolina.
We have our beer of the week, our food review of the week, and we'll talk about Jay Billis being our biggest fan.
Choosing Dayton Flyers for us. Thanks,
Dayton
Jay.
Flyers. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Jay.
So let's just go ahead and jump right on into it with the Super Bowl. Big game. Patrick Mahomes came on top. I think we were only, 2 points off?
Projection was only 2 points off. Chiefs with the win, that 1.5 line.
Yep.
That was easy money for any of our viewers listening.
Yeah, if you took the line and took them to cover, you did a hell of a job. Because
You're welcome.
Who wouldn't take the Chiefs to cover? I mean, they're putting up 50 points in a playoff game against playoff teams. Let's start with Patrick Mahomes here. He went 26 for 42, 286, 2 touchdowns, 2 INTs. Overall, pretty good game from him though.
Rushing touchdown.
Rushing touchdown. He did have a rushing touchdown.
Was him rushing.
What can't this guy do? I mean, he's doing everything he can for Kansas City, leading them to the Super Bowl. Don't get me wrong, Alex Smith did a great job when he was there, but Patrick Mahomes is on a different level.
Is he the difference maker?
I think he is. I think he's
Tom
Tom Brady's
system, or is it Patrick Mahomes?
I think it's a combination of Bieniemy, Andy Reid, and Patrick Mahomes just working well together. I don't think you can go wrong with that combo of offensive coordinator, head coach, and quarterback.
Quick question here. We got this from @AceBoogie. It ties in. If Donovan McNabb was in this Chiefs offense, would the Chiefs have won a Super Bowl?
100%.
So is it the offense? Is it Mahomes? Is it McNabb just didn't have the weapons with the Eagle? What's your thoughts?
I think the Eagles had the weapons. They had T.O.
Yep.
I think they had
T.O. or Tyreek Hill?
I take Tyreek Hill personally. Speed kills.
Yep.
You could see it. Richard Sherman got burned by Sammy Watkins.
You can't coach the speed.
Richard Sherman got burned one-on-one against Sammy Watkins, and he's not as fast as Tyreek Hill.
No.
Tyreek Hill, 112 yards that night? He had 5 catches, I believe.
Well, it was the one big one that got him the chunk. But even on the little short routes, he still, it was plus yardage. It was never a loss.
Yeah, that's the thing. As long as you stay in front of the chains, especially with a guy like that, he'll make his moves, and if you can get him out in the open field, it's hard to tackle somebody like Tyreek Hill when you got that speed. But I think Don McNabb may have succeeded. But also, I think though
that was the Patriots back when they were,
yes, the Patriots,
the main Patriots dynasty.
You had a solid Tom Brady back then. Young Tom Brady who just knew how to.
Randy Moss was on the team, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that was before Randy Moss.
Okay. Well,
but either way, though, they still had a killer defense.
Yep.
Bill Belichick just knows how to coach a defense.
Ninkovich, everything.
Yep.
That defense now has 2 NFL head coaches.
It does. That defense has produced. He's just produced coaches. That's what it is. Every defense he's ever had has produced coaches, coordinators, you name it, they're all there. But I do believe though that Patrick Mahomes is probably the biggest difference maker when it comes to the Chiefs' offense this year.
You're talking 10-10 at halftime. He didn't have his best start. Come out in the third. You have a Robbie Gould field goal. Raheem Mostert rushing touchdown. 20-10 lead, 49ers. Chiefs down 10, like they've been in all 3 playoff games. Who else has done it? I'll tell you, no one.
No, nobody.
No.
Patrick Mahomes has done miracle work this postseason. He's just out there balling out, getting the W's, and saying, hey, spot me 10. We'll go ahead and take this game to the house. We'll go ahead and back to Chief Kingdom and party like it's 1995.
Skunked with the Texans, down 10 versus the Titans, down 10 going into the 4th of the Super Bowl against the 49ers. Come back, they get the job done. And it's impressive. He had the best 4th quarter, which led to the MVP. You could also argue, though, Damian Williams
100%.
should have finished 2nd in the MVP voting.
100%. He definitely played a hell of a game. Damian Williams has definitely played his heart out. He left it all on the field. But, let's get back to the 49ers, how they blew this game out. Jimmy Garoppolo, 20 for 31, 2 bills. He had a touchdown, 2 INTs. But the thing is, as good as those stat lines looked, he missed Kittle on an easy 3rd and 5. He had him wide open across the middle of the field. And then he missed Sanders' deep ball. He missed them on a deep ball.
Yep.
He had the guys beat by 2-3 steps, and they could have gone up by another touchdown. It could have been 27.
Would have been 49ers by 3 most likely.
Yeah.
Chiefs with a minute in that offense. When he originally released the pass, I thought that was going to be the case. Mahomes is going to lead the comeback, tie it up. We were going to go to overtime. Chiefs win in overtime.
I just don't see – I don't understand why a Kyle Shanahan-led offense can't get the job done. I mean, let's go flashback to Super Bowl 51, 28-3.
Shout out to our buddy Jerome. Hate to say it, Falcons blew a 28-3 lead. Hate to see it.
That's the worst thing I've ever seen in football history, and I've seen a lot of bad things. I mean, my Steelers tied the daggum Browns last year, and look at me now. We're here. But the Falcons, you suck. You don't belong in the NFL when you blow a 28-3 lead.
Roasted. That bird's cooked.
Now you just released Vic Beasley. Way to go. You're losing your whole career. You still got Dan Quinn as your head coach. What are you doing?
What are you doing, Falcons? Let's get some answers. Let's try and get off the blank on the show. Someone needs to account for what's going on in Hotlanta right now.
Oh, 100%. Bring back the Thrashers.
Oh, my goodness. Don't even get me started on the Thrashers. Go Canes. We're rocking and rolling right now. We're coming back. Love the fact we're picking up old veterans. We're out on we're scoring points. We're winning goals. We're doing what we need to do.
And I got to say, the Canes, man, they bounced back good last year. Finally got in the playoffs. They really did what they had to do, and Brendan Moore brought them back, being a lifelong Cane, essentially, even though he didn't spend his whole career there.
I like Brendan Moore being the coach rather than Ron Francis.
100%.
There's a difference. Brendan Moore had the captain going after you, and I'm going to let you know that I'm better than you mindset.
But you want to know what's crazy about the Hurricanes? And really the NHL in general right now? The Hurricanes have 63 points. They're 63 points right now, okay?
Right.
You have the Capitals, the Bruins, and the Penguins all over 70, and even the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they're all from the East. There's only one team in the top 5 that's from the West, and that's St. Louis. One team.
I would like to run that back. Say the top 3 teams in points on the East again.
You've got the Washington Capitals at 77 points.
Okay.
You've got the Boston Bruins at 76 points.
Okay.
You've got the Pittsburgh Penguins at 71.
Right. There's the point. Think of the history of those 3 franchises, and now factor in the Carolina Hurricanes.
Oh well,
what's the outlier there? What's the outlier?
I mean the Pens. I mean they won back-to-back cups a couple years ago.
That's not the outlier. Are you kidding me? The Canes are the outlier there. The others have NHL, hockey history.
You're saying the Canes don't?
No.
The Canes they have a cup. They've been around for 20 years.
They have a cup.
They're the Hartford Whalers.
But
rock the green, bring the Whaler back.
I agree with you on that point. That can't go without stating. The Whalers are where it's at. However, people in North Carolina, speak for yourself. What was the main sport that you knew growing up in North Carolina?
In North Carolina?
Basketball.
College football.
Basketball. Get out of here with that.
Well, I grew up in a Phillip Rivers era, so.
Hey, go Phillip Rivers.
Can't argue with that there. College basketball, though, I mean, you got to do Carolina.
But college basketball is king in North Carolina.
It is.
You go up into Boston. You go up into Pittsburgh. People are hockey fans.
Oh, hockey fanatics.
They're hockey fans. The Hurricanes have had rough years where PNC, it's 60% packed.
I mean,
a Pens game back when it was the Igloo?
Yes.
When it was the Igloo, that was a home ice advantage. I don't think I've ever used that term before, but a home ice advantage. Same thing when you go to the Garden in Boston. That arena is full of die-hard hockey fans that know the game.
Well, I don't want to discount Hurricanes fans because they love their team. They absolutely love their hockey team.
But we don't know what the red, the blue, and the other blue lines there.
You're right. They don't know what icing is. They're just throwing their hands up at every single play. I mean, it's a good time when I'm out there watching hockey, and the Hurricanes fans don't know what's going on. But I have to give you this, though. The difference is when you go to Washington, you go to Boston, you go to Minnesota, you go anywhere that's a hockey town, those stadiums, they're little cities. When I went to Pittsburgh back in December, that stadium, the Civic Arena, it was like a small town. You didn't even need a ticket to get in the arena. You just had to have a ticket to get to your seat. That's how amazing that place was. And I have to give it to the Hurricanes right now, though. They're doing a great job of what they got. They're not a big market team. I think the fans are really supporting them right now. I think they're poised to make another run. I'd love to see them in the Pens in the playoffs and get a Penguins.
That'd be a heck of a series.
Be a hell of a series.
We might actually have to do a road trip to Pittsburgh for a game, do an on location in Pittsburgh, drinking icy lights, do one tailgating at PNC with the best fans in.
We'll have to record live from PNC at our tailgate, and then when we get inside, do some more recording and some live. Shout out to Carolina Hurricanes trying to get into a box up there for one of those games and record our show.
Hey, Swansons Thoughts.
Anything better than that would be, maybe getting for a state game into the Champions Club and just hang out up there with them boys and say, hey, we're here.
Yep.
Trying to get you on the prime time. Moving on. Hockey's great and all, but I think we really need to hit on the big note this week. College basketball. Carolina Duke.
Jay Billis.
Oh,
this
man.
needs to go without saying. Jay Billis, at Jay Billis, on College Game Day, has to be a big fan of the show. Last week we gave you our sleeper pick. Thoughts, what was it?
Dayton Flyers. And Jay Billis came in clutch. He just went out and said that Dayton Flyers is his sleeper pick for the NCAA tournament. And we can't disagree at all because that's the best pick you can go with.
Swansons Thoughts.
Swansons
Jay,
Thoughts.
we know you're listening to the show. Feel free to come on. You'll be our outside the arc speaker of the week that week, man.
Just
we appreciate the love.
Hit us up with a DM and we'll get you on here sometime, buddy. But back to it, Carolina Duke, big week, big week here.
Big week in the state. That's one of those things when you grow up, Carolina Duke. It's the same as Auburn, Alabama in football, Michigan, Ohio State, USC, UCLA back in the day. It's one of those college just blue blood rivalries that really separates a state, a region, or a town.
It does, and it's like the Hatfield and the McCoys. It's one of those things that this is the week or that's the game that you hate your neighbor when he's a Duke fan. There's not many bigger rivalries in sports. You have the Cowboys and the Redskins. You've got the Yankees and the Red Sox. You've got Carolina Duke. You've got Alabama Auburn. There's not a whole lot bigger than what Carolina Duke represents in college basketball, though. I mean, that's the mainstay. That's the big attraction. I don't think you can get a ticket for probably less than $500 right now.
Even on a down season.
Even on a down season for Carolina. It doesn't matter who
Game Day's going to be there this week.
Game Day's going to be there.
Jay Billis, yet again, hit us up. We'll get you live on location.
We'll run out to He's Not Here for you.
Yeah.
We'll go get you a beer, Jay. Big fan. Oh, actually, I do apologize. I just checked the ticket prices. $185 on Vivid Seats here.
That's a steal right now.
Shout out to Vivid Seats. Just let you know. See if you want to sponsor or something like that. But back to it. College basketball, man. What a crazy year it's been.
Hey, how about my Tigers taking down Kentucky at home on game day? Great scene, great environment, raucous crowd. 9-point win for my Tigers.
Hey, big win for the Tigers. Big
win, up 7 spots in the poll, number 11. And tonight picked up the big overtime win at Arkansas. That's only the 5th win in program history at Arkansas.
Wow.
What do you think about that?
And really, Arkansas is not a powerhouse when it comes to basketball.
No. Bruce Pearl has 2 of the 5s. 40% of Auburn's wins at Arkansas done by the GOAT of Auburn basketball, Bruce Pearl. Shout out to you, sir.
Well, I tell you what, Bruce Pearl, you're doing it right down in Auburn, but they don't play nobody in the SEC. We know that's not a great conference in basketball.
You're kidding me.
Paul Feinbaum said
don't make me hit the ACC button, Will Moyer.
They don't play nobody.
They don't play nobody, Paul. Let's talk about that ACC schedule.
I mean, we can talk about it. Let's talk about it. You got Louisville. You got Florida State. You got Duke on a good year. You got Carolina.
All that have lost to SEC teams this year. Next argument. Moving on.
You're talking about this year. Let me know when you win a national championship. We'll be there.
Kentucky's got a lot of them.
Kentucky can't be in one anymore because they got all these one and dones.
One and dones. Can't.
But I think one of the big things is this year in college basketball, there's just so much. I don't want to say craziness, but it just doesn't make sense.
How much are you looking forward to March Madness this year?
It might be the best March Madness we've ever experienced.
There's absolutely no way anyone gets a perfect bracket this year.
I mean, if I sat here and told you, if I'm going to give you 5 teams, I want you to tell me what order these teams are ranked.
Okay.
I got Baylor, San Diego State, Kansas, Gonzaga, and Louisville. I want you to tell me which order those 5 teams are ranked.
You want it 5 through 1 or
I
1
want
through
1
5?
through 5.
1 through 5. 1 being the best.
1 being the best.
Okay. Well, I know Baylor's number 1. They don't play nobody, Paul.
They don't play nobody, Paul.
Let's hit that button.
Don't play nobody. Don't play nobody, Paul.
2, I want to say is Gonzaga. However, Little known thing, Gonzaga was down most of the game to University of San Francisco.
Yep.
They were down 8 with 7 minutes left. Won, I want to say, by 2-4.
Let me go ahead and hit that button one more time.
Hit it.
They don't play no light ball.
You heard it here first. I'm going to say, let's see. San Diego State, I'm putting them at 4. Kansas, probably 5. What was the other team?
You got Louisville.
Louisville sliding in at 3. If you're winning the ACC this season, you at minimum deserve that 3 spot. There's my 5.
Well, here's the thing: is you got Kansas at 3 and Louisville at 5. Now, I got to say this though: I don't believe everything else is correct.
All right.
But I don't believe this though. I do not believe, and I firmly say this with a passion, that Gonzaga does not belong in the top 5.
No way.
Put my Dayton Flyers in the top 5.
Same with San Diego State.
But I tell you what, one of the biggest shockers I have to give this year is Seton Hall, number 12 in the nation.
Yes, however, just had the Big East this weekend. 3 teams that were ranked lost to unranked teams at home. First time in Big East history.
Big East history. Coming at you strong on that one. We got Maryland at 9, Florida State at 8, Duke at 7, Dayton at 6, and Villanova at 10.
Who has Maryland played? SVP, big fan, love what you do at night. But who have you played?
They just barely beat Rutgers, 56-51.
No,
what are you doing?
Rutgers has been ranked.
Rutgers has been ranked, but they aren't now. They beat Iowa by 10. A couple big wins here. They took down Ohio State by 11 or 12. I'm sorry, back in early January. So they got a couple quality wins here, a couple quad 1 wins. I can take that. I can handle those.
Again, but not like our Flyers. Here we go. Let's run this down. Dayton actually was in the Maui Invitational this year. Beat Georgia by 19. The same Georgia team that went on the road. Won at Memphis, who was number 8 at the time.
Yep.
Won 80-61. Next day, beats Virginia Tech 89-62. That's a whooping, 27 points. Loses the next day in the championship. I'll keep that in mind. To Kansas in overtime.
Yep.
Kansas was ranked what?
They were number 1 at the time, weren't they?
I want to say so. Heck of a win. Let's keep going. Won against St. Mary's. St. Mary's is a team that you see in the NCAA tournament every year. They generally, knock off a team or two, can beat Gonzaga. We go to their loss. It was in Chicago, obviously not where Dayton is for those that have no clue. Lost to Colorado in overtime.
Yep.
Same Colorado team, ranked, won some pretty big games, beat USC pretty bad this weekend. Another win versus VCU. I don't care who's coaching them, winning against VCU, tough game. A-10's not, it's not what it used to be, but it's still no walk in the park. All I'm saying is, Dayton Flyers, getting it done. They're going to make us look good. That's their 2 losses this year.
I'm going to give you my one thing.
Colorado.
My one thought on the Dayton Flyers. Roll Flyers.
There it is.
That's what I got to say today.
Dayton, host us for a game. We'll go live on location, Dayton, Ohio.
We'll bring the party to you, Dayton. Just give us a holler.
Yep.
Hit us up in the DMs whenever you feel like it. Moving on. Let's see what we got on the docket for the rest of the day here. Free agency. How do you feel about that, Swanson?
Tell you, I know everyone's watching. What do we think of that Tom Brady commercial saying he's back? It looks like the tunnel of Gillette. Is it a tease? Or, I'm going to say,
I think he just got paid a lot of money to go on Hulu.
Shout out to one of our followers at When Higgs Fly. His theory, okay, follow me here. Mm-hmm. The commercial was done in black and white, which almost looks silver, to show he's going to the Raiders.
I like the theory. I like the theory, but my favorite theory is what Adam Schefter once said.
All right, go for it.
He's either going to retire, he's going to play in New England, or he's playing somewhere else. Because, hey, if you play in the NFL, you always have that option. I'm just saying.
All I'm saying is the market for Brady, you're going to have to pay over $30 million a year. And it probably is a 2-year deal. I think Brady plays a 3rd year still, but it's going to be it's going to be a rough third year.
I don't think he wants to leave New England, but I also think that he's ready to move on and try something else. But I also believe that Brady is not finished. I think he's got a couple years left in the docket. But, if he goes to Las Vegas, he could be the new Raiders quarterback, bringing him into the promised land.
We'll do a quick fire quarterback where they're going in free agency,
Okay.
all right? First team pops in your head.
Okay.
All right, so where's Brady going?
Raiders.
All right. Hey, there you go. Atwin Hicks fly. Good for you. Drew Brees.
Saints.
Okay. Dak Prescott.
Cowboys.
Phillip Rivers.
Buccaneers.
Ryan Tannehill.
Tennessee.
That was. Ooh. All right. Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston's not going to have a job.
You know he's going to have a job.
I mean,
he'll be a backup. In worst case, he's a Lions backup.
Maybe. I mean, he could throw a lot of pick fences up, but.
Yep. All right, here's my wild card.
Okay.
First thought that pops into your head.
Okay.
You ready?
Ready.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Saints.
There it is. So they keep him and Brees.
He is the successor to Drew Brees.
How do you work that contract situation?
I think they sit him down.
Yep.
They say, hey, stay on track. We're going to want to keep you here for after Drew is gone. He's probably only got a couple years left. We want to sign him to a 2 or 3 year deal.
Yeah.
You're our guy after that.
I think Teddy would be 30 though at the end of that 2 to 3 year deal. That's perfectly fine.
It's perfectly fine too, though. But I think Teddy Bridgewater has a good career in front of him, and no shade to be thrown towards RG3, who suffered a horrific injury. Yeah. I think he could have had the same type of career as Teddy does. Because Teddy had a very bad injury himself when he was playing in Minnesota, and it derailed him for a while. And he's bounced back very nicely.
Here's a question I have for any fans of ours that are Minnesota Vikings fans. Would you rather have Kirk Cousins or Teddy Bridgewater?
If it was me, I'd take Teddy Bridgewater.
I agree with you. That I think he's equally,
How do you like that?
He's equally successful.
Yep.
And would cost you less, freeing you up to have more money to help that offensive line.
Think about the RPOs you can run with him and Dalvin Cook.
Oh, 100%. And the drop-offs. And Teddy's not afraid to go block someone.
He's not. He'll lay it down. He'll lay his body on it.
And that arguably could be the toughest division in football. You got Vikings. You got Packers. That Bears defense is still nothing easy. And the Lions are just pesky.
I tell you what, if Matthew Stafford doesn't go down last year,
yep,
they're right there in the mix for that division.
100%.
I think Matthew Stafford still got it. It's a shame that Megatron retired early. I think he still needs him.
That was his biggest thing that hurt Matthew Stafford.
Oh, 100%.
Moving on in free agency here, we got Amari Cooper. What's going on there?
Amari Cooper, man, I think he'll re-sign with the Cowboys.
I agree.
I think the dollar amount
as well.
Oh yeah, you got to keep him around. It's definitely a tough go that if you don't re-sign Amari and you give Dak no weapons.
Yep.
Zeke can only do so much. He can't carry the whole team. And the Cowboys, without Cole Beasley, they definitely lost some weapons over time. I think they still need to retain Amari Cooper because they really don't have a whole lot down there from the receiving core.
I agree. Here's one of our biggest free agents we have, in my opinion. I know there's been some injuries. Our buddy BJ is a huge fan. Would pick him probably number 1 overall in our fantasy draft if we could do it over. AJ Green.
AJ Green. If I'm Pittsburgh, I'm going all in.
Yeah. Do you think he would go to interdivision?
I mean, I don't see why not. He's a free agent.
Or is Joe Burrow an attraction to keep him in Cincinnati?
I think he'd be best served to go with Juju and that receiving core out there in Pittsburgh. And that's just me being a fan. Realistically, I could see him going back to Cincinnati or possibly going somewhere out west like San Diego, San Francisco, or something like that.
All right, let's do 3 more here. Noah got traded from the Texans to the Seahawks. Shout out to Nick Perry here. Jadeveon Clowney, he agreed to re-sign with the Seahawks in the trade. However, there's nothing there that says he has to. Jadeveon Clowney, is he a Seahawk when we open the 2020 NFL season?
I think he has a good chance at being a Seahawk. However, I do see him leaving potentially because I think his attitude is a big problem.
Yes.
I don't think Russell Wilson wants that on his team. And, I mean, that's Russell Wilson's team. It's his team.
Hear me out. I think he was disappointed losing to the Packers. I think he saw that with the Texans. He was used to getting to the playoffs and then unfortunately having a timely exit, if you will. The Texans are not going to win a Super Bowl. Not with that organization the way it is. That's
with Bill O'Brien.
That's a we'll get to the playoffs organization. Maybe win one. However, we won't win it.
As long as O'Brien is there, they're not winning a Super Bowl.
I agree, 100%.
There's no way they're going to get past the first or
100%.
even second round.
Next one, I like this as a sleeper to the Carolina Panthers.
Ooh.
Okay.
I got a feeling I know where this one's going.
Hunter Henry.
Hunter Henry, huh?
Replaces Greg Olsen. Cam, my boy, War Eagle, is staying as the Panthers quarterback. You got to give him his reliability.
I don't
Hunter
know.
Henry.
I don't know, one, if Cam's the answer still. Two, I don't know if they take Hunter Henry because I think they're about to start a rebuild process.
Hunter Henry is not staying in Charger. Let's at least
Well,
admit
no,
that.
I mean, that's a fact. He's not going to be a Charger next year. I mean, I can see him going elsewhere, but I don't know if Carolina's going to be the answer for him.
Here's my thing. What does Joe Brady like? What did you see? An evolution in Thaddeus Moss, who is what?
He's a big tight end.
He's a tight end. There it is.
I mean, there's no doubt that he likes the tight ends, but I think the rebuild process starts with a quarterback, and being that the Panthers have a high draft pick, I can see them taking the guy from Oregon, Justin Herbert.
I don't think he's there. I think the Chargers take him the pick before. Ultimately, again, I think it's Derek Brown, War Eagle, Auburn. We're going to restart in the trenches. That's something Matt Rule believes in.
And I don't blame them. They need somebody in the trenches.
Yeah,
Their defense was terrible last year. You lost Luke Kuechly. You got to rebuild somehow.
Last one here. Obviously, could be the best DB out on the market. Chris Harris Jr., Denver Bronco. Again, don't think he comes back.
I don't think he comes back either. I think the Broncos are headed towards a downward spiral.
Yes, as we talked about with Drew Lock last year.
Yeah, I don't think the Broncos have what it takes right now to sustain a quality program out there. I think the franchise itself needs to regroup and reevaluate where they are. I don't think John Elway needs to be the GM anymore.
I agree with that.
He's no John Lynch.
Nothing to take away from him as a player. However, some players just aren't meant to be GMs. There's nothing wrong with that. Chris Harris Jr., I think ends up in the state of Florida. I don't know which team, but I want to say the Buccaneers. That's my hunch. I'd almost go out on record saying Chris Harris Jr. ends up as a Buck. I think the Bucs spent a lot of money this offseason to try and give Bruce Arians the Super Bowl that he deserves, in my opinion.
I can't agree with that anymore. I mean, I think the Buccaneers are poised to make a run. I just think they need a quarterback, which then where I believe Philip Rivers might end up.
Right. The other argument is the Jags replace a cornerback, okay, that we know that they need. Or the Dolphins have a ton of money in free agency. They're going to be spend.
Yeah. No, so, I definitely agree with that. I believe
Chris Harris Jr. going to the state of Florida. You heard it here.
Yeah, I believe Chris Harris Jr. could really end up down there in the great state of Florida. So what's next on the docket there, Swanson?
Moving on from the great state of Florida, we're going to go a little bit out west. We're going to take it to Arizona, where we had the Phoenix Open this past weekend with the PGA Tour, TPC Scottsdale, Stadium Course. Let me tell you, hole 16 looks wild. Want to be a part of it one day. That'd be a great live on location. Webb Simpson with the win. North Carolina boy out of Broughton, I want to say.
Yep.
Played at Wake Forest.
Raised here in Raleigh. Played at Wake Forest University. Resides in Charlotte. Webb Simpson. He's been on the tour a long time. You know, he finally got a big win here. He's
got
a great golfer. Got the big purse.
$7.3 million.
$7.3
million for 4 days of work.
You know, if I can make that in a weekend, I think I'd be pretty solid on that. You know, Webb Simpson, he's got one major. He's got the U.S. Open in 2012. He's finished top 5 in the Masters. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any other big wins. He's only got 6 total. But I got to say, he's a
7-point-something million.
Yeah, no,
he'll be all right.
He'll be all right. And we appreciate you, Webb, and wish you the best of luck the rest of the year. But we all know Tiger's back, so he'll be taking the Masters come April.
100%.
Augusta is right around the corner.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. Moving on here. Let's go to it's that time.
that time?
Your chugs, my chugs. It's beer of the week.
Beer of the week. This week's beer of the week is brought to you by Appalachian Mountain Brewing. Yosef. It is a sponsor for the Appalachian State Mountaineers.
Nice golden ale.
And I'm probably sure I just disrespected App by saying it some weird way because the great people of Boone love the way that their name is pronounced and they take pride in it. But it is a solid drink. I definitely do enjoy it. It's definitely
Here we go. Out of 10, what's the rating?
out of 10. I'm going to give it a solid 6.5.
I was going 7.1.
Oh, we're a little off there, but
hey.
the color, it's there. It's nice and golden. Definitely appreciate the head on
the
it.
School colors.
It was poured by our man Dan at Yacht Club Beverage House.
Shout out to Dan at Yacht Club Beverage House doing his thing. We appreciate you. You keep the drinks pouring, man.
Keep the beverages flowing for us tonight. On to our food of the week.
Food of the week. This week we took on Capitol Boulevard Crazy Mongolian Fire Grill.
And definitely was a shocking order for you there, Mr. Swanson, as I know you don't really like to see the meat in the raw form, let alone touching each other.
Hey.
And they threw it on the grill, cooked it to your exact quantity and specifications. How did you feel about that on a scale of 1 to 10?
1 to 10, Crazy Fire Mongolian Grill on Capitol Boulevard. I'm going 6.8.
6.8.
Food wasn't bad. One bowl was definitely the move. Wasn't filled up. Now the rice was good. I will say,
Yep,
the
good fried
dirty
rice
was good. Meat, it's tough when you're going through. You have all these options.
Yep.
And you're trying to think, hey, how much meat do I need today?
Yeah. No, I mean, I definitely definitely think that they could have gotten the lobster and the crab on my plate, and definitely might have been able to go with something maybe a little more, I don't know, pork maybe something a little more savory, and I think the pork definitely would have filled that role. Next, we're going to hit up our Q&A and what we have going on this week. Looks like we got a few questions here on Twitter.
Yep. All right. First one is from @NRP_insurance company. Here we go.
Who will finish with more rings, Mahomes or Brady?
You want to take this or me?
I'll have you start with this one.
Okay. I think the easy answer is Brady. I mean, ultimately, there's a reason no quarterback's won more Super Bowl rings than Brady. I think if he comes back, the Patriots have the most, financial flexibility they've ever had in the Brady-Belichick era. It's definitely the move. Mahomes, yes, he's young. I think he's great. However, ultimately, they can't afford to pay him. They can't afford to pay Kelsey. They can't afford to pay him. They can't afford to pay Hill. They can't afford to pay Frank Clark.
Tyrann Mathieu.
They can't afford to pay the Honey Badger.
I think their time as a Super Bowl contender, their window is open for at least 3 to 4 more years.
Yes. I do believe the Chiefs will win one more. Mahomes ultimately retires
At 4.
I have it at 2. 2, 3 is the top. That's the ceiling. The ceiling is the roof, Will.
I don't know, man. I really think when Andy Reid retires, I think Bieniemy may take the team over, and I think they just have a solid background right there.
That'd be a good fit. That'd be a good fit. How many more years does Andy Reid coach, in your opinion?
I think Andy Reid's got 5 at least.
Okay, yeah.
He's not too old.
No, they want to say 61.
61. I mean, he
Just
very
won a
well could
Super
coach
Bowl.
till he's in his 70s. So, I mean, it's a normal thing for a coach to go until he's 70 years old. But we'll see what the future holds for him and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
I think they got a lot to look forward to and what we got going on in
It'll be
Kansas
big
City.
things. I'm interested to see who the NFL schedules for that first game.
Yeah, I mean, Chief
That's for
Kingdom.
sure.
Chief Kingdom strong.
At When Higgs Fly, shouted out, who's going to draft Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts. Wow, that's an interesting topic, being that he is still hurt. No pun intended. I think he's still a quality quarterback, and I think he's got a large future cash-wise in his horizon. I also do believe, though, that he is still a top 10 quarterback. I don't think he's going to go to Cincinnati. I think that's Joe Burrow. I think the Redskins are going to take Chase Young. I wouldn't do it. I think they're going to do it, though.
Truthfully, I think Jalen Hurts is a round 3, round 4 pick And
he is.
I got different scenarios here. One, be a great backup to replace RG3 and back up MVP Lamar Jackson. I can see that. Or, hear me out here, would also be a great backup to Cam Newton.
He would. Now, don't get me wrong, though, but here's the thing, though, is the way that this draft is leading, it is a quarterback draft.
100%.
Teams needs quarterbacks, and he's going to go in the first round.
He's not. There's
He's going to the Dolphins. Dolphins are taking him all day.
No, it's Tua.
Dolphins are going to Dolphin.
What if...
Tanking for Tua.
What if the Dolphins take Tua and Jalen, their team back up in Miami? It's pro Bama. Nick Saban goes back. He's the Dolphins coach.
Dolphins are trading up. They're going to take Tua, Jalen back to back, and it's going to be the best time in the world.
What a world we would live in.
What are we talking about here? Let's get back on track here.
Moving on here. At CT Leonard 34, what are your thoughts on the rest of the year for Auburn men's basketball?
Auburn's men's basketball team. Sweet 16 finish. They're going to win the SEC. They're going to finish as a 3 seed. I could see them as a 2 seed in the big dance, but I don't see them get past the Sweet 16, maybe to the Elite 8.
It all depends on who in my opinion, I think Auburn's a 4 seed this upcoming tournament. It all depends on who that 1 seed is in their bracket. If it's a Gonzaga or San Diego State, Auburn by 15. 100%. If it's our boys Dayton, wow. You talk about
it's going to be a blowout by the Flyers. They're just going to run down with Auburn, and it's going to be a
shout out to Dayton. If we don't have Flyer gear by next time we're recording.
I mean, I think we just need to go ahead and get Flyer hats and just rock it all day. I do believe, though, that Auburn's got a solid team to make a run at it, but I don't think that they're going to finish. I don't think they can beat Duke. Honestly, Duke has the best point guard in the country.
I agree, but I do not believe that Duke will be a 1 seed.
I don't think Duke will be, but I think Duke's going to win the whole thing. I don't think there's a better team in the country than them, honestly.
All right, moving on. At Blake Risk reached out. Do the Eagles have any shot next year winning the division? And if so, how far do they make it in the playoffs?
I'm going to make my answer short and sweet. No.
You have them losing to the Cowboys in the division?
Cowboys and Redskins.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Counting on Riverboat Ron. I think next year is a big building year for the Giants. I see them winning 6, maybe 7 games. I see the Eagles finishing last in the division.
Okay. At Drew Waterstand tweeted out, know you're a big baseball guy. What do you think about this upcoming season? Who do you have winning? I'll let you take that one first.
Contenders. I'll go with contenders, and I'll lead into who I think is going to win it.
Separated NL and AL.
So the NL, I've got in the NL championship game, I've got the Braves and the Dodgers.
Go Braves.
I think the Braves have a bright future ahead of them. I think they're going to be very talented for a very long time, and I think they've got a lot going for them. The Dodgers, on the other hand, though, just get Mookie Betts and David Price.
Breaking news there.
Yeah, breaking news. Big trade today on the market. I think they're very much loaded out there. I see the Dodgers getting out in 6. The Dodgers are pissed. They've lost twice in the World Series to teams that cheated. Hashtag Astros, hashtag Red Sox. Out of the AL, really, I don't see any other team competing with the New York Yankees next year. I mean, the Astros had to fire their coach because he was cheating. And who are you going to put up against the Yankees? The Angels? The Oakland A's?
I do like Joe Madden turning around the Angels. I will say that.
I do like that. I think that's a good fit, and I think
3 years, though. 3 years, the Angels are in it.
3 years, Angels are winning the AL West. But I think the Yankees have the rotation. They've got the lineup. They've got everything they need, and Aaron Boone and the guys around Aaron Judge and Garrett Cole to go on and win this thing. The only thing that concerns me is their number 5 starter in J.A. Happ. I don't think he has it to be the number 5 starter in New York. Big fan of Paxton, big fan of Tanaka. Huge fan of Garrett Cole and Luis Severino. I mean, that's a 1-2 punch. You just can't get any better right there. But I've got the Yankees winning it all in 5 games against the Dodgers.
I tell you, a Braves-Yankees final yet again. We'd have to find a way to get to Atlanta.
Bring back Bobby Cox.
To see what we need to do to make that happen. Next, we have 2 questions, and then we'll do one more after. This one, or these 2 are from at Jacob Turner, THI. 1, National Sign Day is tomorrow. Who do you ultimately believe has the biggest day?
I can't really say that anymore. I mean, with the early signing period now,
Yep.
it's kind of hard to say that somebody's going to have a big day with it.
National Signing Day just is not the same.
It's not the same anymore. And I think what you got, Clemson's the number one recruiting class this year.
It depends. 2 have Clemson, 2 have Bama.
So, I don't know, man. It's kind of a hard one to take, but I think the biggest class is going to come down to who can land the remaining DNs and wide receivers out there. So,
right.
Going either SEC or ACC.
As always,
best league.
I tell you, USC Trojans need a big day. 100%. They're slacking right now. Some people are talking Florida needs to pick it up. LSU lost a couple in this dead period, especially receivers.
Yeah.
And now that Joe Brady's gone, national champs, hey, you got to rebuild and reload,
Yeah.
Next part of Jacob Turner THI's question is, I'm a big college baseball fan. Who do you think comes out in Omaha this year?
Man, I tell you what, I love me some college baseball. I'm a big Carolina fan, if nobody's noticed yet. Big Carolina guy. ACC loaded. SEC loaded.
Vandy boys, man. You can't.
You
could say Vandy boys at Vanderbilt baseball every year. And you have a shot.
Well, and that's the thing is Vanderbilt is. You can't go wrong with them.
Yep.
But man, I need you to look at Louisville. Louisville, top to bottom, stacked.
Yep.
But I got you a dark horse though.
One that you probably not going to expect. Dayton. It's not Dayton. Shout out to the Flyers. Still, we love you.
I'm going to give you one dark horse right here, and it pains me to say this because I'm not a huge fan.
Okay.
Duke. Last year, Duke went toe-to-toe with Vanderbilt in Game 1 of the Super Regional. They played well. They returned a lot of guys, a lot of older guys. Lost some guys that were key players on the team. I don't want to say Duke's going to win it all, but I can guarantee we're probably going to see them in Omaha.
Nothing wrong with that. Last one. Shout out to one of our favorite places at Cookout. What's the tray order?
Oh, man.
And when are you coming next to see us?
The tray order, I'm going with a double burger. I'm going with ketchup, lettuce, cheese, bacon.
Yep.
My 2 sides, chicken quesadilla, and the newest,
hit with it.
The newest and greatest side that Cookout could ever come out with, the Wisconsin cheese curds. They're huge. They're great. You don't even need the sauce. You just eat them. You eat and take that grease in, and you bathe in it, and then top it off with a huge tea. And then if you're feeling frisky that day, go ahead and grab yourself an Oreo milkshake.
I like your tray. For me, it's the classic big double burger tray, everything on it with cheese. It gives you everything you want. Chicken ranch wrap.
Can't go wrong.
Way to go. Chicken quesadilla. Can't go wrong with it. I love your cheese curds pick. Sometimes, hey, that's just a side. You get like 30 of them things for $1.49.
Hey, you can't go
wrong with that.
You can't go wrong with that.
And you top it off with a sweet North Carolina cheer wine.
Hey, cheer wine may be the nectar of the gods.
All I'm saying is, we were at the Canes game the other week. What's there? A cheer wine slushie.
Cheer wine slushie. I tell you what, if they put that in Kangaroo over somewhere with the K-Cups, dude, I would be bombing that every single time. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a good old-fashioned cheer wine slushie.
Well, I like that. That was a good wrap-up there. First, I want to say shout out to all of our listeners. Thank you. It was a solid week 1. Week 2, we hope you enjoy. With that being said, I'm Swanson.
I'm Thoughts. Hit the subscribe and like button. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. And we'll be back next week to give you our thoughts.
And that's our thoughts.